Spearfishing is so much more than just shooting fish. When we silently glide beneath the surface, we can never be sure what natural wonders we may encounter. From underwater smoke screens to incredible creatures, here are my top 10 special encounters while underwater fishing. Before we get started with this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell, as I'm going to be making videos again. Thank you very much. Number 10. The smoke screen. One sunny spring afternoon, I was out searching the seabed for plaice, and I managed to find a really nice plaice that I was really happy about, coming in at about 2 kilograms. After some more searching, I came across this ray on the bottom, and many rays are endangered, so I decided not to spear it, but I did give it a little poke on the tail. Expecting the ray to just swim away, to my amazement, he put on this incredible display. By beating the sand with his wings, the ray warns me off as a potential predator and also covers his body in sand, hiding on the seabed. It was a pretty amazing sight to witness. Number 9. The Tyre Dweller. Again, out scanning the sand for flatfish, I came across a tractor tyre just sitting out in the middle of the ocean on the seabed. I decided to dive down and investigate. I was pretty amazed to find this huge lobster using this tractor tyre as his hideout. I decided to get my hand in there and grab the lobster so I could have him for dinner. Pretty amazing find. Number 8. The Fearless. It's a fairly gloomy spring day and I'm out with my friends Max and Ed heading to the spearfishing grounds. Arriving at the mark, we jump in the water to find crystal clear water. After about half an hour, my friend Max calls me over to say he's found this incredible monster of the deep. We all dive down to check this remarkable creature out. This is an anglerfish, and you can see he's dangling a lure down from on top of his head to entice in his prey. No matter how close we got to this fish, he was entirely fearless and just stood his ground, and we needed to be careful of the rows of sharp teeth within his big gaping mouth. A pretty amazing find and a really special encounter for all of us. Number 7. Dinner for 2. Out spearfishing one afternoon, this strange shape caught my eye on the seabed, so I decided to dive down and investigate. Creeping over the kelp towards the shape, I noticed the ragged remains of a conger eel with a lobster and a spider crab feeding at each end. It was pretty cool to encounter this, and it just goes to show how everything is recycled within the marine environment. Nothing goes to waste, and I decided to leave the lobster and the crab to it as they were a little bit undersized, but it was still really cool to see. Number 6. The Cleaning Station. Out spearfishing for bass one gloomy winter's day, I came across a big school of them, but there was something interesting about this school of bass. As I did a dive down through the school, I noticed that the fish at the bottom were rubbing their faces and backs across the gravel on the seabed. These fish are actually carrying out a very important job called delousing. Delousing means scraping the lice off their faces and gills so that they do not cause infections or any damage to the fish. This was the first time I'd witnessed this behaviour, and it was pretty cool to see so many fish doing it. Number 5. The bubble maker. One spring morning I was out snorkeling in the shallows when I suddenly noticed loads of bubbles in the water all around me. If you look really closely, you can see the culprit in the top left hand side of the screen here. This is the European otter, and as the otters swim along, bubbles get squeezed out of their fur by the water pressure. Otters are extremely elusive, so I was very lucky to have this special encounter, and even part of it on film. 4. The ink maker. I was out searching for bream around the boulders and kelp when this amazing creature just wafts out in front of me. Of course this is an octopus, but this was a very special encounter for me as it was the first octopus I'd seen in the water, and it wafted out from under these rocks, almost touching my face. Absolutely spectacular. 3. The lion's mane. I was in Scotland one summer's afternoon helping some friends free dive for scallops. After one dive, we came up to the surface around a load of long tentacles. This is the lion's mane jellyfish, and possibly the largest jellyfish in the world. Sometimes known as a giant jellyfish, specimens have been recorded up to nearly 40 metres long. The lion's mane jellyfish uses its stinging tentacles to capture, pull in and eat prey such as fish and zooplankton. 2. Giants of the sea. Whilst on a recent trip spearfishing in the Azores, I was fortunate to come across 2 different kinds of ocean giant. First was the manta ray. Although these creatures may look quite dangerous, they are perfectly harmless, and in fact the manta ray has the largest brain to body weight ratio of any living fish, making it a pretty smart animal. But these were not the only gentle giants I witnessed on this trip. In addition to manta rays, I was incredibly fortunate to have a family of sperm whales swim past. Unfortunately, many of these sperm whales were hunted in the past for the spermaceti, the oil sac that is in the whales' heads. This was used for oil lamps, lubricants and candles, but now it's great to see them making a bit of a comeback, and this was an absolutely spectacular experience, one of the most special encounters I've ever had at sea. 1. Needle in a haystack. But for me, the most special encounter of all has to be when I was out scalloping on winter's day and I came across this incredible seahorse. Seahorses are very threatened by things like dredging and anchoring because the seagrass beds that they grow up in have been destroyed more and more over the past years. I was extremely lucky to find this seahorse a true needle in a haystack, just drifting in the ocean currents. They are in fact fish, and they possess swim bladders and gills like the rest of them. An absolutely incredible sight that I was very lucky to come across.